Right, thank you and welcome. Fellow Africans, welcome to our today's episode, being the 19th episode about the Change for African campaign. Remember, it's on a Thursday, and on a Thursday, we discuss about the living standards that our people are living in Africa. So therefore, fellow Africans, welcome. And today, the country to help us exemplify on the matter to do with living standards in Africa will be country number 230, a country in the northern part of Africa. It's actually an island in the northern part of Africa, and that is the Great Mauritius. And before we dive into Mauritius to help us exemplify on this matter, allow me to give you or to go through just a quick description or a quick state in which Africa is in terms of living standards, also the poverty lines in Africa. Number one, allow me also to try and compare, bring the comparison between Africa and other continents globally. Remember, we have 7 continents and divided into different proportions depending on where they are. And so, because the current state of poverty in Africa, Africa is at 60% rate of poverty line. 60% people, 60% of the African population live under the poverty line of $1.9 globally. And then now the conspiracy or the difference now comes here. How? Because looking at Africa at 60% poverty line, the other continents, I can tell you, no continent is more than 15% poverty line. Not even one. It's under, is at more than 15%. Only Africa is at 60% of its population living under the poverty line, which is 1.9 USD. Putting in mind that Africa has an estimated population of about 1.2 to 1.4 billion people. Doing a quick mathematics, when you say 60% of its population living under the poverty line, what does it mean? It means that around 720 to 800 million people in Africa live in extreme poverty in Africa. That is the big issue of today, and that is what we want to discuss. And so therefore, fellow Africans, a country as usual, or sometimes due to our customs, a country to help us exemplify on this matter, we will be using the Great Mauritius, as I had said before. And I want us to see just a quick statistics on how Mauritius is faring on. First and foremost, Mauritius has a population of about 1.2 million people. One of the countries, maybe globally or in Africa first, that are very few or less population in Africa, or small population, if I may say. And then Mauritius has a GDP of about 16.6 billion dollars. Mauritius. And then the same Mauritius has a poverty line of about, now this is what we're speaking today, things with poverty line. Mauritius has a poverty line of about 12%, 11 to 12%. And actually this one, according to the history of the passing years, like a year in 1996, Mauritius had was at around 26%. But today, over the years, it has taken that obligatory concern in making sure that its people and the lives of the people are improved. And so, what do we mean when we speak about poverty, or we speak about the living standards of people in Africa? What we basically mean, it is that how are our people faring on, or how are our people living? So in Africa, that is a very worrying state, because in Africa, the way our people live today, it is not what our forefathers wanted, or that was not the dream of our forefathers, the likes of Thomas Sankara, the lives of Osajo Kwame Nkrumah, the lives of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, the likes of Mahatma Gandhi. All these people, that is not what they foresaw, or that is not what they wanted for Africa. All these people knew that Africa was a land of great potential, but today, where are we as an African continent? What is happening in Africa? What is happening in Africa? Africa is a land that has remained to be a field of battles for everyone, not only for Africans but for other people coming to battle in Africa. Africa has become a land of just a lot of mystery. People are being killed day and night in Africa, and these are poor people, not rich people. People being displaced day and night. These are the living standards we speak about. Are our people able to get shelter? Are our people able to access quality education? Are our people able to access in terms of health and good healthcare services? Employment rates in Africa. These are the epitome marks that we touch on, and so we still have a very long way to go as Africa, because if we do not stand up and reshape our political and governance systems in Africa, we do still have very huge strides to make, And so we need to be very strategic on what can make us to reach here. Number one, it's about our governance arenas in Africa. Our governance system, it is in a very I would say worrying state, because governance state, remember, governance is the software of development. I've said that before. Governance is the software of development in any organization, continent or country, or even a house. Governance. Once we have poor governance, self-appeasing political classes, that means that they will not be responsible for the other population, meaning that we now having a greater population remaining to be in poverty, remaining to face just a lot of challenges in terms of conflicts will escalate. Now, the battle of the gun is day and night in Africa. We have barrels of gun going DRC today. What is happening there? Warring states in Africa. So therefore, fellow Africans, we do have an obligatory concern in making sure that, especially we, the young bloods of Africa, we have not to rush to finding things to do with power, but we have to create a great personnel. First is to have great personnel, because personnel are the people responsible for governance. So once we have a good personnel to go in the future, by 2034 or 40, we'll be having very great individuals who will be knowing what is ailing Africa, and we will be able to rescue Africa. Thank you. God bless you. Let's meet tomorrow definitely as we discuss our fifth pillar of the Change for African campaign, and that is the climate change that we face in Africa. Thank you, and God bless you. Have a good afternoon. Thank you.